everybody, it's me, Luna, the Zen Witch, and I'm here on a glorious, glorious spring day. It's beautiful, it's in the 70s, it's sunny, it's breezy, and I'm inside shooting videos. But my window is wide open. I spent all day outside yesterday. I've spent a couple hours already outside today. Um, so you might hear breezes coming in addition to the little fan that keeps my computer working. You might hear roosters, you might hear woodpeckers, you might hear my husband rattling around on the back porch. Anyway, so I'm here with another unboxing video. Today we are looking at the Legacy of the Divine by Ciro Marchetti. Legacy of the Divine Tarot, Ciro Marchetti. Let's see here. Printed in U.S., blah, blah, by Llewellyn worldwide. Step into a lost world from long ago, a world veiled in darkness after a cataclysmic collision that stilled the earth. Millennia have passed and only humankind has survived through the divine gift of dreams. Exquisitely rich and magical, this new Rider-Waite-Smith-based tarot deck by digital artist Ciro Marchetti takes you into the heart of fantasy. You can use this legacy from ages past to discover what you need for your own life as it guides you toward hope, wisdom, and inspiration. The companion guidebook, Gateway to the Divine Tarot, presents the author's interpretation of each card's significance, along with additional perspectives from experts in the tarot community, including Ruth Ann and Wald Amberstone, James Rickleff, and Leisa ReFalo. And there's a legacyofthedivinetarot.com 78 card tarot deck. Let me adjust my microphone here so I can scoot up a little bit. Okay, so we have a box, and I'm hovering on the edge of getting rid of these outer boxes. I do have several decks. Shadowscapes was one that I just reviewed recently that has an outer deck, and then inside you get a little organdy or organza bag for the cards to go in. And I've always kept the boxes, but they're big and chunky. And I'm thinking I might get rid of them because I'm not, I'm collecting not because I want them to be worth a lot of money someday. I'm collecting because I love decks. So here's the book, full-size book, Venture Through the Gateway. We'll look at that in a moment. Here's the cards in the organza bag, and you see how the box has got a little inner box thing, so there's levels. And it's just, it's not that sturdy of a box. It's not really meant to be kept. That's why they give you the bag for the deck. So we'll see. I don't know. But you get this beautiful image on the front of one of the cards inside. So here's our bag. The backs of the cards are really lovely. And, it's almost like pre-steampunk. We've got metallic looking things and sort of rivets and stuff. So, all right, did I do that? I did that. I'm going to go like this because I didn't have them quite in order, but mostly in order. So here we go. Here's the major arcana with the Fool, and you see him sort of dancing across the images of some of the cards. His foot is on, what the hell's that thing called? What's that called? The thing here. Hourglass. That's what it's called. Holy shit, you guys, this is scary. I think my brain is in spring mode. And look at the little doggy grabbing a hold of his belt, and instead of the bag over his shoulder, he's got like a little box, almost a jack-in-the-box thing popping open. And I wonder if those cards are coming out. Anyway, you can see it's sort of a futurizing of the standard Rider-Waite. Here's the Magician, looking not like the young man he's usually depicted as, but an older guy. And you see how detailed the artwork is. It's beautiful. Look at his hands. Look at the wrinkles on his face. It really is rich and gorgeous artwork. And you see there's some alchemical symbols. He's got some chemicals and test tubes there. Here's the High Priestess with her pomegranate. Oh my. Go back and watch my Beltane live stream. If I was mentioning a pomegranate there in a dream that I had about an image of the goddess spreading across the sky, and there was a mandala with a pomegranate and the snowy owl. And then we have the Empress, and look at how beautiful and pregnant she is, and the swan. I personally kind of hate swans. I mean, they're beautiful, but ooh, are they mean. And look at the eggs and the fruit and the mushrooms and the berries and the flowers and a cheetah. Okay, there's a cheetah and a crane. All kinds of critters, land, sea, and air, and definitely fertility and abundance. And here's the Emperor with Taurus, the bull, up at the top. And the Chariot. Look at the wings. If I put my thumbs down, will it focus on the card? Definitely in motion. I like Chariot cards where you can see the motion going on. Faith. So instead of the Hierophant, we have Faith. And in the original Tarot decks, there was Faith, Hope, and Charity. And that took the place of, I can't remember which ones. When I do Cariel Visconti, we'll talk about that. So Faith card, we've got Tibetan Buddhist, we've got Jewish, we've got the Pope, and we have an Imam, and we see the there are words here in the appropriate languages for these people, and here it says, "Our Father who art in heaven." So we've got the Lord's Prayer here, and I imagine that those are prayers as well. The Lover's card, oh, look how lovely. They're leaning into it. And here we've got the garden. Look at this serpent in the apple tree. Very interesting. So we have the Lovers cast as Adam and Eve. The Strength card. She's here with a lion and a jaguar and a tiger or a leopard, whatever that is. Jaguar, leopard. The Hermit. I like the close-up of the faces here. I love the rich colors. They're just very, very inviting. And look at the light coming out of that wand that he's holding. And there's a Virgo symbol around his neck. Interesting. The Wheel. Thank you very much for putting the signs in the right place on the circle for the flat wheel and in the right order. You can always tell when somebody knows something about astrology or when somebody doesn't know something about astrology because they will start at the top and put the signs around in clockwise order. In a flat wheel chart, Aries is here where the first house is, and they go counterclockwise around the circle. So we've got the wheel, and we've got 4 figures going up and down. The climbing up, the falling down. With Jupiter in the background there, we have the Justice card. Look at that. And I truly haven't looked at this deck in a while. So this is kind of delightful going through. Look at the starry sky and the white, the yin-yang, the globe. Very descriptive photo there. And look at the helmets that they have. You know, depicting blind justice. They have no eye holes in their helmets. The Hanging Man. So obviously not a victim. And there's the hourglass again, kind of on its side. And he looks like he's juggling coins or something. Death with the Pluto symbol there. Very appropriate. The skull, we've got a scorpion, we've got a spider. And the Dark Rider there with the Pluto symbol. Very nice. Temperance. Look at the fire and water. Fire in one hand, water in the other. When we talk about temperance being balance and assimilation, you see them kind of balancing the water pouring out, the fire going up. Really beautiful images. Look at the devil. A headpiece. Pretty sweet. A pentacle. I don't like the upside down pentacle associated with the devil. Thank you very much. Can you hear the goose? Here's the tower. Very futuristic looking. And we've got the symbols of the 4 elements. These triangles up at the top here. The upward pointing triangle is fire. The downward pointing is water. The upward pointing with a line across the top is air. And the downward pointing with a line across the bottom is earth. And we see the tower coming down. The star, look at that. I love the style of clothing, or lack thereof. Pop in, you can do it. Come on. There we go. Look at the headpiece. It's really beautiful. The moon. And we've got her dogs, and we've got the ibis. There, Thoth. The sun with all the planets going around. Judgment. And the world. And look at we've got a depiction of all of the zodiac signs going around. That's really cool. I like that. All right. On to coins. And actually, I think, let's do a real quick. Hey, what the hell? We'll go through it like this. I don't know if this is the order they're in the book, but it is what it is. Ace of coins, and there's the earth symbol. Look how green and beautiful. Definitely, they use color in this deck to set the vibe, set a very appropriate vibe. There's the 2 of coins on a big wheel, and what's he juggling? He's got Jupiter and he's got Capricorn. Okay, interesting. Jupiter's a planet, Capricorn's a sign, not sure quite what. Okay, 3 of coins, talking about mastery. This is usually what you see on the 8 of coins, sort of an apprenticeship or working with tools, but this is a master at work. Then we have the 4 of coins, the miser. He certainly looks it. The 5 of coins. Look at how this is depicted, not just being outside, but outside of this brightly lit window and holding out a bowl, so a beggar. That's another interesting nuance for that card. 6 of coins, definitely this sense of gifting. Look at this richly clothed hand and these other hands receiving the coins. 7, harvesting. 8, and we don't really get that. There's certainly pride there, but you don't get that sort of sense of exhaustion that you sometimes get in the 7 of coins. The 8 of coins. So this kind of gives, while the 3 shows someone working, this is more like someone studying. So there's the apprenticeship vibe. There's the Virgo coin, or Virgo is on that one coin as well. The 9, having your own space to yourself and everything that you need. And the 10, and we've got Virgo and Venus showing up here. Why Virgo? I'm not sure. I mean, it's an earth sign, but not the one I would associate with abundance and riches. That's more Taurus. Then we've got the Page of Coins, looking very feminine. The Knight. Look at these great helmets. I mean, so many decks I have that I love the design of them, and it would be so much fun to just pull out some costuming ideas. The Queen, with the coin on her head, and the King. Very rich. And then we've got the wands. Look at the fire. Fire and all the crystals around this wand. Dragons. 2 of wands. A key and boxes that are locked. So there's a sense of ownership. I have the key so I can get what's in these boxes. I guess that could be kind of dominion. The 3 of wands, we do have him looking out to the sea. And look at this ship coming in the air. There was another deck recently that showed a ship coming in the deck. Or maybe I'm just having memories of when I put this deck in order. I don't know. Okay, 4 of wands. You don't see the people, but you see a structure being built. I like the lights going out. 5 of wands, definitely the tangle going on. 6, the victory card. So yes, they do definitely echo the standard Rider-Waite Coleman. 7, not as active as the 7 of Wands usually is, showing somebody holding something off, but they're definitely up and above these other wands. The 8 of Wands, not really flying through the air, sort of floating in the air. The 9, that's definitely guardianship. The 10, certainly oppressed, certainly being weighed down. And here's the Page, the Knight, the Queen. There she is from the front of the box. Isn't she great? And kind of looking like henna, although henna on face is doomed to failure, so don't even try it. But look at her hair. Everything is beautiful. King of Wands, certainly fiery. Swords, eagles. The 2 of Swords. Look at the blindfold in this. Going along with the style. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Headpiece. Yeah. 3 of Swords. Oh, look at the tear. I mean, very evocative. And since it is pretty much the standard, I mean, if you're familiar with the tarot, you could just jump right into this one, I think. The 4 of Swords. The 5, victory or defeat. Definitely looking victorious in this card. 6, kind of got an Avalon vibe there. 7, the Thief. Look at him stealing in. That's really cool. And a lot of the 7 of Swords shows someone kind of like moving away from you, you know, carrying whatever they've stolen. This shows somebody breaking in, and I really like that sense of boundaries breached and invasion. That's very cool. Then the 8 of Swords. Look at this. She's literally bound with the swords coming at her. But again, being trapped is sort of an illusion. But look at the spider web. She's kind of hanging in a web. Very cool. The 9. Look at the hands reaching. Are those hands? I can't quite tell till it pops in. Come on. Come on, darling. Ah. Ain't gonna do it, but there we go. Yes, hands reaching down, and this sword hanging over her head. So look at, in the middle of the night, those things that come and get you. And then 10 of Swords. Ouch. Beautiful image. Page. He's looking masculine. The Knight. More great costume ideas. The Queen. Oof. Yes. And the King. And then we have Cups. Look at that beautiful, I mean, it's just very evocative. They really get the gist of the elements. They really get the vibe with color and just the richness of things. The 2 of Cups. Look at this. Lovely. The 3, kind of belly dancey. She's got some instruments. It's nice seeing some music portrayed. Musical instruments. Sweet. The 4, and now we've got a really earthy vibe, but we've got the cups around him. The 5, oh, look at her. Drowning her sorrows. 6, sweet memories. That really gives you the vibe of the memories, because you can see she's kind of lying there thinking, and there's the kids playing. 7 of Cups, all of the possibilities, dreaming about the possibilities. What if? The 8 of Cups, we've got Pisces up here, and he's kind of swimming away. And look, he's got kind of like an octopus bottom. This dude's a mermaid. Swimming away. The 9 of Cups. The Wish card, look at the coconut and the peaches. Everything is abundant and luscious and juicy. And then there's the 10 of Cups. And look, oh, we have Mars and we have Pisces here. Pisces, yes. Mars associated with cups and water, not so much, really. Not so much. I'm going to scoot my head down here because I see I've cut the top of my head off. As if you care. Page of Cups, the Knight, the Queen. They definitely have their own faces. King of Cups. So this doesn't look like a Photoshop deck, but it certainly looks like a deck that has used real people for depicting. All right, let's look at the book. Ciro Marchetti, Gateway to the Divine Tarot. And it's interesting because this, on the box it says Legacy of the Divine. Everywhere it says Legacy of the Divine Tarot, but on the book it says Gateway to the Divine Tarot. So it's not Gateway to the Legacy of the Divine Tarot. I mean, very interesting titling. Gateway to the Divine Tarot. So is it Legacy of the Divine or is it just the Divine? I guess it's Legacy to the Divine. And Ciro Marchetti also did the Gilded Tarot, which I do not own, but it's a beautiful deck as well. Okay, so the story. Here we go. Here we go with a big, really involved book. And, well, we'll see here. We've got Chapter 1, The Change. Chapter 2, Emperor's Edict. Chapter 3, Preparation. So it looks like there's a whole heckin' novel. For millennia it had traveled in silence, gracefully spinning in a majestic cosmic ballet across the vast black void of deep space for most of its existence. It's very likely that it's a really good story. That's not what I'm after when I buy a deck. If I want a novel, I'm going to buy a novel. So I can tell you that I am 100% sure that I'm not reading that story in the beginning. I'm just not. It's not one of the things I have time for. Then we get to the cards on page 67. All right, talks about most people being familiar with the Rider-Waite. And, all right, what is a tarot deck? So more, just writing. Then we talk about the contributors. Ciro Marchetti is a digital artist. He's built a reputation within the tarot community. 2 previous decks, the Gilded Tarot and Tarot of Dreams. Voted most popular decks of the year on their respective releases and included in the top 10 most popular decks of all time by members and visitors of the influential Eclectic Tarot website. Ruth Ann and Wald Amberstone are well known in the tarot community as highly creative and original teachers, founders of the Tarot School, authors of Tarot Tips and the Secret Language of Tarot, tarotschool.com. And their initials come in front of their comments, RA and WA. James Rickleff is a certified tarot master, a reader, lecturer, and writer. He's been a frequent workshop presenter at Los Angeles Tarot Symposium, blah, blah, blah. Author of Tarot Tells the Tale, Tarot Get the Whole Story. He has a deck called Tarot of the Masters. Lisa ReFalo refines her background in software engineering with a deep and biting interest in all things tarot. She's the author of 2 decks, the Tarot of Color and Kaleidoscope Tarot, independently published decks, books, journals, classes. Her podcast, The Tarot Connection. Okay, so all these people are contributing to the text of the book here, and I'm looking, this was copyright 2009 by Llewellyn Worldwide. So with each card now, we get into the major arcana. Here's the Fool. So we have Ciro Marchetti and his comments first. The card preempts the major arcana. Our hero leaps and balances death. So there's a part of his story. I've always been fascinated by the character of the Fool. Let the journey begin. So I'm not sure why this part is in italics. It was intriguing when I first discovered his role of lead protagonist in the tarot deck. So there's a part that describes the card, and then there's a part in italics by the artist. Why there's 2 things I don't know. But he talks about why he drew it the way he drew it. And then RA and WA, Ra and Wa, Above, beyond, and before the world, the fool dances the dance of possibility. Time and space are his playthings. He tips the hourglass and sets the sounds of time in motion, tosses the cards, sets the world spinning. Like his dog, we hang on for the ride. So there's not really a meaning there. It's just their take on the artwork is what I'm reading. JWR. Delightful how the other major arcana cards are depicted streaming out from what seems like a jack in the box on the Fool card, a whispered allusion to the Fool's journey. Blah, blah, blah. Another interesting aspect of this card is the fact that the Fool is drifting high above the earth. Okay, so again, we don't really get meanings. And then the last person, the ReFalo person, Lisa ReFalo, keywords. All right. Now we get keywords. Beginnings, potential, eternal youth, openness, beginner's mind, idealism, blah, blah. Reverse keywords, folly, indiscretion, irresponsibility. Then we have a description. The jester floats in the ether, the rarefied air of heaven and high above the earth. He holds a jack-in-the-box in one hand that's filled with the mysteries and building blocks with his other hand, blah, blah, blah. And then we have meanings. The fool has evolved from his early origins as a disheveled idiot into the holy fool who's the seed of possibility in all creation. The fool is both emptiness and infinity. Okay, so here from Lisa ReFalo, I'm finally getting something I can use. Then we have elemental attribution, planetary attribution, gifts, spontaneity, faith, fresh starts, wonder, innocence, so more keyword meanings here, and advice. Forget everything you know, head out into the great unknown. Nice, concise advice. And then there's a quote here, in the beginner's mind there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind there are few. Now that's pithy. That's what you call pithy. It gets to the heart of things. So why, I'm wondering, do I need this whole frickin' novel and then a whole bunch more explanation of why I did what I did, and then more with each card explanation of here's what I did and why I did it, and then 2 other people's take on that particular artwork until we get to somebody saying, and here she has the spirit of ether under the Fool, till we get to somebody saying, here's what this card means. Here's the takeaway. So a lot of talking about the images before we get to the meaning of the card. And I've been avoiding saying this word. But you know what that is to me? It's wankery. It is wankery. I am in love with myself and my own opinions. I am in love with my artwork. I'm going to describe it over and over again. So again, we go on with the magician. Unlike the Rider-Waite conjurer with his table and elemental symbols, I've chosen instead to depict here. And it's nice to do, I mean, if you're into the artwork, it is nice to hear the thoughts of the artist. But then why do I need this person's thought? And okay, Rawa, old in the ways of magic, with all the knowledge of the universe, past, present, and future at his disposal, the magician makes things happen. All right, there's a shred of meaning, making things happen. Master of the mysteries of alchemy, electricity, and the movement and music of the spheres, he wastes no moves and makes no mistakes. So there's an element of skill there too. So we do get a little nuance of meaning, but that you have to look for it. The Tarot's magician was originally a mountebank, a trickster, or a street magician in the earliest decks. Over time, his image transformed into a mystical or spiritual mage in recent decades. So the JWR, who is this again? Crap. Hold on. I want people's names. I'm taking names. JWR is James Rickliff. All right. So his thing is more like the history of the image. And he goes into great detail about each image. This amalgamation of qualities is also apparent in a holistic consideration of the other aspects of this card. The books lining the shelves indicate his learning and skills, while the objects and equipment set on the desk indicate the manifest results of that learning. Also, the electric arc is blah, blah, blah. So we get history and an in-depth look at the image. And then again, thank you, Lisa ReFalo. She comes in with keywords, reverse keywords, description, meanings, elemental attribution, planetary attribution. And on this one, oh yes, and then we get this glorious gifts, manifestation, effective communication, advice. Success may be yours through the application of talent and effort. bang. I want a book that just has those gifts and advice for each of these cards. And then she also has a quote. But the whole idea of the transformation, mystery, transformation, and manipulations, those were the things that Marcel was a magician at. That's his magic. So an informative quote. But yeah, I would like to see a little white book to go with this that has just that, the gifts and the advice. Maybe the keywords. So we go through all of the majors, and then we go into the minors. Let's see how that differs. We finish the majors and just go straight into the minors, Ace of Wands. So we get each person's little, it's a tiny blurb here. The aces are the essence of each suit. Dragon treasure, born of dragon fire. The Ace of Wands is the talisman of power. Take it. Okay. I mean, you can get something of that. But again, Leisa comes to the rescue, and she does the full thing with each of the cards, even the minors, keywords, reverse keywords, the whole shittery here. Gifts, inspiration, new direction, great opportunity, advice, seize the day. So succinct and so wonderful. So we go through all of the minors. I think I'm going to sneeze in a minute here. And then we have how to read the tarot. I'm going to keep going until it's coming out. And the How to Read the Tarot section is by Leisa ReFalo. Yay. Bless me. My allergies are swinging. So she talks about what a deck is. You have in your possession something as simple as beautiful images on 78 pieces of cardstock and something as amazing as the building blocks of the universe. So she has my undying respect here. And then she talks about the court cards. This is nice. Kings, mature masculine. Queens, mature feminine. Knights are youthful masculine. And pages are youthful feminine. So all the pages are feminine here. All right, the reading. Your tarot deck can be a wise friend who offers advice, insight, and guidance for the important issues in your life and in the lives of people you know. One of the major uses of the tarot is doing a reading, which is a form of divination. The word divination comes from the Latin word divinare, which means to be inspired by God. In the case of tarot, information is sought by examining cards on behalf of a querent, which could also be yourself. There are 4 parts to any tarot reading, which we will go into in more detail: the question, the spread, drawing the cards, interpretation. So again, she seems to be very methodical. So the question, if we really understand the problem, the answer will come out of it because the answer is not separate from the problem. What a great quote to open this section, Jiddu Krishnamurti. So I really, really like her, and I think I would be looking up her decks because it seems like she's got her finger on it rather than just sort of the wankery of flowery language and look, I can write a novel about the tarot. And again, it might be a wonderful story. I'm just saying I ain't reading it. That's not why I got it. So the spread is instructions and drawing the cards. You focus on your question. You shuffle the cards, lay out the cards according to your spread. Okay, so I want to back up a little bit here. Arguably, the most important part of the reading is the question. Open-ended questions looking for advice are wonderful. Who, what, when, where, why. W5. Most people want to know about the future. Those readings can be done. Keep in mind there's no single future set in stone. Very good. Let's look at one question and different ways to word it. Will I ever find true love? It's a legitimate question, but very difficult to read for because it's yes or no. So here are alternatives. What should I be looking for? Who's my ideal partner? What do I need to do to attract true love? That's powerful. That's a great question. Where will true love find me? That would be a weird one. When will I find true love? And again, you're asking for a specific date in time, so I don't know. Why am I having difficulties finding true love? That's another really good question. So then she talks about doing this or drawing the cards and then the interpretation. Look at them, notice how they appear, how they make you feel. And then things to consider. And then she has an example reading. Then there's learning more, internalizing the cards. That's nice. Extras, connecting with your deck, the perfect bag, even though it comes with the bag. Cleansing, charging the deck. She talks about using incense like sage, cedar, and juniper. Charging the deck, become familiar, exercise breathing the cards, centering exercise, fourfold breath. So the fourfold breath is you breathe in, you hold, you breathe out, you hold, and it's a measured counting of the breath, which is a standard practice. Pardon me, I haven't been drinking. Maybe that's my problem. Gateway, instructions, select a card to work with. So she's talking about now using the cards each as a gateway to explore your inner landscape. Then we have spreads, the daily spread. What legacy have I inherited? What is my legacy? What do I need to work on right now? The pages, or what is needed spread. The Knights spread. Okay, I'm curious about this. The pages bring you to the magical item for their suit and can tell you what is needed in your situation. Begin by looking at the deck and selecting a card to represent the situation. As you work through the spread, look for a page or significant suit to appear. Bring out the page at the end to oversee the spread. I'm not sure I understand that. The Knights. The Knights put down their swords to support the legacy project. Put down your own ambitions to pursue your higher purpose. Use this spread to explore what that is. All right, so I'm not sure where the Knights, I guess, if they don't even mention. You can go to the Queens for advice. Compose a question that you would like to ask. Pick a queen based on the topic of the question. Place the queen above the spread. Shuffle the remaining cards and draw one for each position. Okay, and then the King's spread. And then we have attributions for elements. So we've got the elements, the suit, the gender, the alchemy, whether it's hot and dry or cold and wet, hot and wet or cold and dry. The trump, judgment, hangman, okay. The court rank. So there's one major arcana for each of the elements. Judgment is fire, hangman is water, air is fool, and earth is the world, or none. That's interesting too. The court rank, each of the court cards ranks with an element and a sense. Only 4 senses. We've left out hearing, which is the sense of the spirit. So we have left out the element of the spirit as well. Interesting. And then we've got keywords for the elements, and then we've got numbers and planets and zodiac signs and a bibliography. So wow, really involved book. The deck itself, I would say, would be great to just jump in and use. I mean, if it's your first tarot deck, of course you're going to be looking at the meanings, and I'd skip past everybody and go to Leisa ReFalo. It shuffles beautifully. Yeehaw! So the size of it is great. The quality of the cards, they're sturdy, but they're shuffleable. Nice. And I see I'm almost at 40 minutes on this deck. Holy shit. Well, and that, it's a long book too. So again, I would really like to see a shorter version of the book just with the meanings in it, without all the wankery in the beginning. So there you go. There's the Legacy of the Divine and the Gateway to the Divine Tarot, and it's some confusing things, but ultimately a beautiful deck with gorgeous images that are in line with the standard Rider-Waite, very user-friendly in that term, in that sense. The book itself has got a lot of fucking padding to it, and I'm not really down with that, but you might be. You make your own mind up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, and thank you especially for donating. Click the button down below if you want to send me a couple bucks to support the work that I'm doing and keep me fed while I'm doing videos for you. Sorry this was so long. Get out and enjoy your day. It's a glorious spring, and I hope that you're safe, and I hope that you're well, and I hope that you're following safe practices. And I will talk to you next time. This is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.